DOGE and the big beautiful bill under Mike Johnson. Welcome to Doug in Exile. This is where the happy patriots are. There's some misinformation out there. The Trump administration is trying to get ahead of it here. Hats off to the Quad Club. If you've subscribed and you watch 4 videos a day, you're called my Quad Club. You guys keep the lights on here. You literally pay my entire salary. Thank you for helping take care of my family. I can't thank you guys enough. And I read your comments and we comment on them. You guys notice that down there every day. We go through them. You guys are just a really great, fun audience. Now, here's the first post. This is David Sachs. So I got to set this whole thing up a little bit. So here's where the flack came from. Mike Johnson does the big, beautiful bill. Elon Musk appears to be complaining online that there isn't enough DOGE cuts made into law in the bill. That is, they remain as presidential orders and his own work that is not codified into law. They need a bill to do it. So people are complaining that Mike Johnson's bill didn't have enough DOGE cuts, permanent legal cuts in it. So now the Trump administration gets ahead of all this, including Stephen Miller coming out and saying, you can't put DOGE cuts into the bill yet because of what DOGE is and what this bill is. Sachs is going to explain it a little bit. I hope this helps clarify some things. Here's David Sachs, 2 underreported facts about the big, beautiful bill that I learned from Stephen Miller. First, reconciliation bills only deal with mandatory spending. We went over this 2 days ago. If you guys have subscribed, you already knew this. Not direct discretionary spending. Since the DOGE cuts apply to discretionary spending, they will have to deal with separately. So we proposed, I said, look, there's going to be another bill where they're going to go into the discretionary spending. It is not time to do that yet. You literally, legally can't do it because of the rules of the Senate. To be clear, he says, I will be very disappointed if the DOGE cuts are not codified. And we agree. You'll be stabbing Elon Musk and, frankly, the American people in the back because we voted for DOGE, Trump's DOGE and Elon Musk's DOGE plan. If you don't codify it into law at some point, you will be stabbing us in the back. Okay, so it's going to be coming down the road, but according to Senate rules, has to happen through a different vehicle. Guys, it has to happen in something else besides this bill. The right is losing this argument. MAGA, you're losing this argument if you try and pick it with the big, beautiful bill. Wrong timing. The big, beautiful bill does actually cut spending. It's just not scored that way because the bill removes the sunset provision from the 2017 tax cuts. In other words, the bill continues tax rates, translated the 2017 tax cuts that have been in place since January 1st, 2018. But CBO scores this as a spending increase because those rates would have expired on December 31st of this year, 2025. If you use the current year as the baseline, as common sense would tell you to do, big, beautiful bill represents a cut in net spending. So Thomas Massey and all the fiscal conservatives are saying it doesn't do cuts. It's secretly, and so they're wrong. Undoubtedly, there are things that could be improved about the bill, but Republicans had only a 1-vote margin in the House to work with. Now, let's hold their feet to the fire because we do need DOGE cuts to be made permanent and for that critical work to continue. Next article, here we go. Senator Rick Scott, who's one of the fiscal hawks, saying he won't support Trump's.
So, Senator, would you say without any changes at its current composition, would you vote no?
Oh, absolutely. I'd vote no. This bill doesn't have it. If they brought it to the floor like right now, there's not a chance it'll get the 51 votes it needs. So look. You're
going to deliver a loss to Trump and Mike Johnson right along with the Democrats. Rick Scott, come on, buddy.
Oh, no, we have to balance the budget. Look, we know that it's getting harder to sell our treasuries. We know interest rates are going up. We want to get interest rates down. We get inflation under control. That means balance the budget. Guess what? I did it every year I was governor. These states supposedly balance their budgets. No, they balance their budget by doing the same thing the federal government does. They borrow money. I stopped that. I stopped the state borrowing more money every year, which I've been doing for 40 years, and it paid off a third of the state debt while I was governor. So that's what we ought to be doing at the federal level. That's how we'll get interest rates down. That's how we'll get inflation under control. The poorest families in this state, in this country, are getting hurt by this massive inflation.
You're doing marketing against Trump right now, and that's what bugs me, is Trump has a mandate to pass a bill. So I agree with the fiscal hawk. I disagree with the timing. I think the major number one purpose of this bill, listen, is to secure the 2017 tax cuts that Trump already got and make sure that they don't go back up this September or on December when they come back. And we will have the biggest tax increase in American history. That's what we're trying to avoid. One thing at a time. This is Russ Voit. Russ Voit. He's a great guy. He's considered Elon's successor on DOGE.
In terms of what's the substance of what the credit ratings have said over years is, look, there's been no success towards moving the structural debt and deficits from mandatory savings. We think we accomplished that. But to your point, your question, we believe that the tariffs are a part of this. The tariffs are happening right now. Yes. Everyone thinks so. The president's negotiating these bills. We are on a current glide path right now for $3 trillion over 10 years, notwithstanding how the reciprocal agreements end up. That's based on the things that are in place right now. That we are seeing record levels of tariffs, and they are coming in to the extent over 10 years of $3 trillion. We are going to send up rescissions bills. There's this meme out there that we're not sending rescissions bills up. We have a $9 billion package of DOGE cuts to foreign aid and Corporation for Public Broadcasting and NPR. It is almost ready to go up. Why is the delay? The delay is because the House actually wants to pass it, and we have been working with House appropriators, Tom Cole, Mario Diaz-Balart. For the first time in history, I've had conversations with the House appropriators. They want to pass it in the House and put pressure on the Senate. I don't want to send rescissions bills up there that go nowhere. And then, of course, we remain committed in keeping impoundment on the table. So if they don't move these cuts, we are still going to have our executive tools to, in fiscal year 25, to bend and cut and reduce woke and weaponized bureaucracy and make DOGE cuts permanent.
So they are coming. They're working on it. That's on Steve Bannon's War Room. I'll get to another quote from Russ Voit because they're doing a lot of repair work on this. Here's breaking. U.S. District Judge Jeanette Vargas has granted DOGE permission to access federal payment records at the Treasury Department. We have a judge on our side, thank the Lord. Democrats are going to have a meltdown that waste, fraud, and abuse are being eliminated. Good guys, they are winning. Here's back to more of that Russ Voit. This was posted by Benny Johnson. Watch this on Fox Business.
Rumor has it that we got a big rescission package, an Elon Musk DOGE rescission package coming up. Can you confirm it?
I can. We'll be sending that up on Monday or Tuesday whenever the House is back in session. They will get our first rescissions bill. And again, this has been proposed and we've talked about it. We want to make sure that Congress passes its first rescissions bill, including the DOGE, and we will send more if they pass it. And so this is the first one is foreign aid, USAID cuts, many of the waste and garbage that was funding not only wasteful but hurting our foreign policy, but also the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and NPR. We'll be sending that up and we're working with Congress. And we've had good conversations to make sure that they knew what was coming. They had some input as to changes that could be made to make it something that could pass the House. And we're excited for that to occur next week.
Now, I want you to listen to that carefully. He's sending it up in chunks. These are DOGE cuts to USAID. It's small. It's, I don't know if it was 10 billion or what. And they have to get all the way up to like trillions of dollars, right? But right now, and he said, we're going to, if this gets passed, we will send up more. Did you hear that? So they're going to do it in small chunks and keep sending it up. So it doesn't belong in the big, beautiful bill that Mike Johnson's trying to pass right now. And there's a lot of all this hatred going around coming from the right, coming from the fiscal conservatives on the right, the Thomas Massey clan, trying to dog Mike Johnson's good work. I get it that it's not perfect. You got to understand the rules of the game. You literally can't put it in the big, beautiful bill. That's only for non-discretionary. This is all discretionary payment that we want them to cut. Now, here's Mike Johnson on Twitter himself. Elon Musk and the entire DOGE team have done incredible work exposing waste, fraud, and abuse across the federal government, from the insanity of USAID spending to finding over 12 million people on Social Security who were over 120 years old. Remember, when the Democrats say that we're cutting Social Security and kicking people off, They're people who are 120 years old and over, the 12 million people, by the way, that don't exist, that we're kicking off those lists. The House is eager and ready to act on DOGE's findings so we can deliver even more cuts to big government that President Trump wants and the American people demand. We will do that in two ways. One, when the White House sends its rescissions package to the House, we will act quickly by passing legislation to codify the cuts. Number two, the House will use the appropriations process to swiftly implement President Trump's 2026 budget. In the meantime, we've been working around the clock as we prepared for the process. The House made sure the build on DOGE's success within the One Beautiful Bill. Stephen Miller has made an important point about the two efforts. DOGE found savings in discretionary spending, such as funding agencies, while our big, beautiful bill secured over $1.6 trillion in savings in mandatory spending, such as Medicaid. Both are historic and huge steps forward. And then here's all the comments below. Cat turd, get back to work. Why are you working just 26 days the entire summer? These guys are all just dogging him. They're professional doggers. State what you want. I'm saying what I say about you guys, and you guys can say what you want about Mike. Anyways, it is being done. It is being worked on. And that is the good news. Mike Johnson's big, beautiful bill is going through, giving Trump a win on the tax cuts. And then they're going to start working on codifying DOGE into law starting Monday, early next week. I'm Doug in Exile. Shout out to the Quad Club. Thanks for watching all 4 videos today. Thanks for subscribing. God bless you all. See you guys tomorrow.